Hey guys, welcome to the new video. I know this video might be a little crazy, and we'll get to the content of the video. But I just wanted to go ahead and just thank everybody who was trying to uplift me in the last video. I want to give some shout outs. Ryan McGirl 907, shout out to you. CO5581, shout out to you. Learn Eternal English 3417, shout out to you. Andre J Pinter 3560, shout out to you. Tanja 1063, shout out to you. Timber 2533, shout out to you. All you guys heard me in yesterday's video. Obviously, I had some spirits. I was a little bit down on my spirits. I was a little sad yesterday. Obviously, you guys know the video. But I just want to give you guys a shout out for bringing me up, making me feel better, and I appreciate all you guys. And at the end of the day, I want to thank you guys for that. And on to today's video. Title of the video is called "Becoming a Millionaire" on Redbubble, or on print on demand in general. Becoming a print on demand millionaire. Let's talk about that for a second, because I do want to discuss some things, and this actually is a continuation of what Andre J Pinter commented in yesterday's video. So yesterday's video, Andre J Pinter says, "I'm sick of the YouTubers who make videos about print on demand and say how easy it is. All we have to do is make a cat design and we'll make thousands of dollars per month. If that were the case, everyone would be rich. You're the only YouTubers who actually teach about how to make money with print on demand." So first of all, thank you, Andre. I appreciate that. And I do want to talk about something that might seem relatively unrealistic, to make $1 million with print on demand. And I think that number is unrealistic relatively, because just making $1 million in general without even the concept of print on demand is by itself unrealistic. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the statistics, I think something like the top 1% of the world makes $400,000 or more. So if you do the math, you figure out how much people are making $1 million or more a year, and you think about that, that might be 0.5%. That might be 0.75%. It's not that many people. But on top of that, when we add the concept of doing it on print on demand, and even though we're not talking about yearly, we're just talking about in total, of course it does add some leniency to the concept, but it's still no small task. And it's not something that I would advertise as something that's normal. In fact, I've not reached a million, and nowhere near have I reached $1 million, and I don't think I will anytime soon. But I do think it's a possibility. Now, let me explain. I made a video last year, 11 months ago exactly, where I talked about what it would take to actually make $1 million on Redbubble. And I kind of said that roughly it would take 555,000 designs. So to put that into perspective, that would take over 500,000 designs, right? 500,000 designs. And if you do the math on that, 555,000 designs, right? If you do that, you could potentially make $1 million in totality. Now, how do you actually do that? The reality is you're probably not going to be able to do that alone. I mean, if you could do that alone, God bless you. You're amazing. But majority of people will not be able to do that alone. I could sit here and tell you, no matter how great my work ethic is, no matter how motivated I am, no matter how inspired I am, I'm not coming anywhere near that. Literally, not near that. And just to put things into perspective, on Redbubble, I have maybe a total of over 30,000 designs, maybe 32,000 designs total, maybe even 35,000 if I was to add everything up. And it was not all created in 1 year, but total. And I still have not even crossed even the realm of even getting to 50,000 designs. And for me to sit here and say that somebody can do, or I could do 555,000 designs, that's well past the beginning of a that's a lot of designs. There's no other way to say it. It's more than 500,000 designs. And the way I worked out the numbers is based on the sales that I was getting and based on the average sales in the marketplace. I figured that would be the number, roughly 555,000 designs is what would it take to reach a total of $1 million. Now, To be clear, there is an element of time into it. It's not like when you just take a design, you upload it, and then it makes you money that day. Of course, there are some designs that do that, but most of the time that does not happen. We're talking about majority of the designs. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen for people. In fact, it does. I've had many times where I uploaded a design and it got a sale within the first 2 hours, 3 hours, but then I've had many designs that I uploaded that hadn't sold for weeks, until it finally got its first sale within a period of a few months, you know? So we got to put things into perspective. But if you were doing it alone, generally it would take about 25 years to accomplish. Now, that's a lot of time. So when I put things into perspective, let's bring it down to a reality, because let's be honest, I doubt all of us are going to be sitting here for the next 25 years creating designs on Redbubble.com. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here, right? But what we can be honest about is, how can we get to 1 million? What can we do? Well, there are some things we could do. And the reason why I'm even mentioning this is because, like I said, Andre mentioned that, there are YouTubers out there who, and I'm not going to call anybody out because there's really there's no reason for that. I mean, no reason to call out anybody, no reason for any negativity. But there are people that do advertise that the print-on-demand concept is pretty simple. I mean, you could do a basic Google research, and it is somewhat simple, but it's not as easy to make money as people make it sound. There are a lot of things that kind of go into it. You got to make sure the tags are right. You got to make sure the design is optimized. You got to make sure you're getting some SEO traffic. You might even sprinkle some marketing on there to get some sales. So there are a lot of elements into it. And it depends on what kind of print on demand are you doing. Are you joining marketplace print on demand? Or are you doing store-based print on demand where you own the own store? Like, for example, a Shopify store. By the way, we're doing another Shopify video real soon. But regardless, if you own a Shopify store, for example, doing 1 million with print on demand it's more probable, it's more likely to achieve 1 million a lot quicker. And the reason why is because you can control one of the main focal points to any business, which is mostly the advertising and receiving a higher ROI. Now, it's not that you can't control advertising on Redbubble. You absolutely could. You could take a design, you could advertise it on Facebook, but the reality is the profit margin is going to be slaughtered. And just to put things into perspective, the average cost per click on Facebook is like $2.12. And if you are advertising, let's say, a product like a shirt or a sticker or whatever, you're only making a few dollars of profit. And sometimes you're not even making $1 in profit, depending on what you're selling. Like, if it's a sticker, you could be making 25 cents, 50 cents. Even if you increase the profit margin to 500, like 40, 50, 60%, you're still not going to be bringing in that much cash. I mean, let's be honest. Anybody who sells a sticker or a t-shirt here and there, even if you sell 10, 20 of them, you're not taking home a large chunk of cash on a platform like Redbubble. So what is a likely thing that you could do is you can start your own store and get to 1 million faster. If two people came to me and said, who's going to make 1 million first? And one person has a store, a Redbubble store, and one person has a Shopify store, I'm going to say the Shopify store guy. Even if I don't know anything about their talents or their ideas or their creativity or anything like that, just simply because they have more financial control and more advertising control. And obviously, that's not necessarily the case for everybody. I mean, there are some people who just will outperform Shopify store owners and they'll be on Redbubble, but still, for most people, there's more control in that aspect, which leads to greater profit. That is one way. That is a very viable way, and it can be done. It's not like you can't do it. In fact, there's a lot of companies that have done it. The only difference is they're not print-on-demand drop shipping, but they're doing actually manufacturing. They're white labeling the products, which is exactly what I did with my very first clothing business. So put that into perspective. That's something you can do. And it's very likely, and when I say very likely, I mean out of the people who are successful, you can get there. There are many stores that do way more than that. Now, obviously, I'm making it sound a lot simpler than it actually is. You have to have some advertising knowledge. You have to get good at it. You have to have an advertising budget. Another big battle you have to cross is making sure that your advertising accounts do not get shut down in the middle of advertising campaigns, because I'm telling you that sucks. I can speak from experience, and I know what causes now things to shut down and things like that. So there's a lot of different aspects to it. It's not just like, click a few buttons and, you make money. But in essence, that's how it starts. You set up a few campaigns, you make a few dollars, you take the profit from that campaign as long as you're generating profit, and you funnel it back into your system, and that profit generates more profit, and so on. But there's another way to do this, and like I said, you can do this on the marketplaces. Now, the marketplaces, there's an obvious con. The obvious con is that the profit margins are generally not as high. And to say generally, I would say 99.9% of the time, they're just simply not as high. Are there outliers? Of course, but they're just not. If you go to TeePublic, for example, you can't even control the profit margin. You don't even have the choice. You are essentially on average making about $4 per sale. Now, granted, it does differ based on what you're selling. If you sell a sticker, you're going to generate less profit than if you sell a t-shirt. And if you sell a t-shirt, you're going to generate less profit than if you sell a hoodie. But generally, it's about $4 per order that you're generating in terms of profit, aside from stickers and, the smaller, cheaper things. But general merchandise, about $4. That's not a lot of profit. I can take a t-shirt with the exact same design and sell it on a Shopify store and make 5 times the profit because I can increase the price of that t-shirt to $45. Now, people, I know that I might sound crazy for some people, but like $45, how can you charge that? But you can if you do the marketing properly and you target the right audience. There's always a market that's willing to pay for whatever that it is that you're offering, and if they truly want it. So put that into perspective. But if my goal was to make $1 million, I wouldn't necessarily go all out on trying to do that on a platform like Redbubble or Zazzle or Merch by Amazon. I would definitely try to cap out my abilities. I would definitely try to be the best at what I'm doing, and I would definitely try to scale. And this is one of the ways that you can do it, is through scaling. And what I mean by that is, instead of you sitting there waiting 25 years to create 60 designs a day and then eventually have 555,000 designs, what you could do is you could start hiring people. And this is what I'm doing now, is you can take people, bring them under your wing, and tell them, this is how I want the work to be done. Show them how to do it, right? Assuming that you're making money and you know what you're doing. Show them how to do it. And you're going to teach them how you want it to be done with your own setup. And they're going to do the work for you. So now, instead of you're producing 60 designs a day, you could be producing 200, 250, 300. Now, obviously, there is a general rule on Redbubble across all account holders, all accounts under, one individual, that you cannot upload more than 60 designs a day. But there are ways around it if you know the tricks of the trade, pretty much. If you know that you can create certain, I guess you can say, aliases, accounts under certain individuals, and put those accounts under certain individuals with different payment methods and things like that, then you can kind of move around it. It's the best way I can say it, but without really being too explicit. But essentially, you can multiply your efforts. So that's really what you can do. And you could even take this into a different consideration. Imagine you're tier, 50,000 on Merch by Amazon. Instead of you sitting there and creating all the designs and uploading everything and doing all that, which you absolutely can, there's nothing wrong with that, but you can take your focus on something else, put it on something else, grow something else, and have 4, 5, 6 people working together on your project for your Merch by Amazon, then give them a piece of the sale. If you're generating enough income, then it should be enough income to pay for those individuals. And that's something that's pretty cool and pretty important. So I figured I'd put these videos out, and why these matter is because even though something might be daunting sometimes, some people might have some extremely audacious goal, crazy goals. $1 million. I want to make $1 million on print on demand. If you reverse engineer the process, if you look at the science and the mathematics behind it, it can be done. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's going to do it, and I'm not even saying that it's likely. In fact, it's highly not likely. But it can be done with the right strategy in place, because everything can be controlled through strategy, and everything can be optimized through strategy. If I want to make $1 million this year, I know that I'm going to have to hire over 25 people to work for me. Now, my income won't be able to support that, so I won't be able to do that. But I'm saying that's something that I could do necessarily, to move forward. And this is what people do in the real estate game all the time, right? They know that, let's say a property is going to cost them $2 million, and they put a down payment on it, and that down payment doesn't exceed what they can't handle, you know what I'm saying? So they put the down payment, and they get tenants in the property, and the tenants are paying more than what the property costs. That's essentially what they do. But it's reverse engineering the process. How can I afford this building by doing XYZ? How can I get to the $1 million landmark by doing XYZ? What do I need to do to get there? Well, we just laid them out. The first thing you could do is literally you could sit there for 25 years creating designs, doing 60 designs a day for 25 years. But is that likely? Let's be honest. It's probably not likely. And who honestly would want to do that? I mean, I know I wouldn't. I mean, if you want to, God bless you, but I don't think I could. Well, what's another thing you could do? You could hire 25 people or maybe 30 people to get the job done, because I'm assuming that people are going to be slacking. Not everybody's going to do 60 designs, etc. So you could hire people and get it done all in 1 year and then wait for the income to accumulate. That's another way. You can open up a store and then you can increase profit margins. That's another way. You could do enough organic marketing and paid marketing to get to your store that is in your ownership. That's another way. So these things can happen. It's just that they are very rare, and I don't want this video to make it sound like it's easy. It's by no means easy. In fact, it's a monumentous behemoth of a task, and the words that I'm saying doesn't even truly encompass what you have to do and how hard it will be. But is it mathematically possible? It absolutely is. And there are people out there that I'm sure that have done stuff like that on that level. Now, do I know of any of them? I can't say that I do. I can't say that I know somebody who is making over $1 million a year with print on demand personally. But I know people who are doing numbers like that outside of print on demand. Not necessarily on print on demand, but outside of print on demand. But regardless, it is possible. It is possible. It's such a large, enormous task that it's going to take a task force to get the job done. Is it possible? Yes. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. All right. So that's pretty much it. And I think this is a good video to make for the start of 2022. I know this is kind of the start. I mean, we're 12 days in, 2023, because there's going to be a lot of people who want to go after some big goals, but they're just not sure if they should, because they might not believe it's possible. But I want to be here and sit here and tell you it is possible. Whatever your goal is, it's possible. You just need to reverse engineer the process and make it work. At the end of the day, if Elon Musk could take people and put them on rockets and send them to Mars and whatever he did and put a Tesla on top of a rocket and shoot it up to the sky, you can figure out how to make some money on print on demand. So that's just my opinion of it. You guys let me know what you think, and let me know, what would you do if you earned $1 million with print on demand? What would you do? Would you spend it? Would you save it? Would you spend some, save some? Would you invest? What would you do? How would your life be ran in the future? I mean, would you quit your job? Would you go all in on something? What would you do? Let me know. Would you move to a different country? Let me know. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Bye.